Hey guys, David here. Gilbert's asked me to do a QuickTime video of how to build motion slides for the presentations on Sunday for songs and in reality for anything that you want to add a motion to. So the software I'm using, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, is Keynote for the app for the Mac. This is the only one I have. I do not have PowerPoint, so I'm not sure if the same process will work on PowerPoint, but I imagine there would be a similar process that we can probably translate pretty easily. So what we're going to do here today is the song Sanctuary. And as you can see, I've already put the verses down here so that I have them ready to go. Pretty sure you guys have that down already, otherwise you wouldn't be doing the presentations. But what we're going to do first is, sorry, let me back up. What I want to show you today how to do is to add video to your slides and then make it a seamless transition. So what we're going to do is build that, and then at the end I'll show you what that looks like in a actual presentation, and we'll talk about some of the challenges that can come with this if it's not done properly. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your video, and so I have it down here in my downloads. I have an MP4. This is Plaid Patterns, and I have this from a website called worshipvideos.com, I believe. What I'll do is I'll send Gilbert the link and my login information for that, so that if you guys want to go ahead and take videos off there, you're more than welcome to start using them for your own presentations. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag this out onto our slide. All right, now we have the video there, and so let me just straighten this up a little bit. So the first thing we want to do here is just size this so it's the correct proportions. And what we'll do is go into Format, and I want to move this to the back of the screen. That way the text will show up on the front of it. Next I'm going to go ahead and size it so that it works for the half screen that we use at church. I know that we're going to be changing to a full screen projection, so that'll obviously be a lot easier. But what I've found with these songs is the proportions 1024 by 360 seems to work best. Seems to be the right size for what they want. It doesn't overflow onto the bottom of the screen. Fits in there real nice. And you just want to make sure you click off this constraint proportion so it doesn't change everything. And there we go. So you can see now that we have a video that fits half the screen here and will show up nicely on the overhead screen at church. So as I mentioned, we're going to do Sanctuary. It's a pretty simple song, and I like it because it has verses that repeat, and I'll be able to show you a little trick here on how to easily prepare these presentations on songs such as this. So with Keynote, one of the cool things is that it will actually line up the text boxes for you. I'm not sure if PowerPoint does this or not. But if not, this is kind of neat. So it tells you exactly where the center of that image is. You don't have to do any of the guesswork or look at it a couple times. You just line it up and then it sets it for you. So we'll go ahead and leave that there. And so one thing I forgot to do first, I'm sorry, is with the video here in the background, I forgot to put that on a loop. We want to make sure that since this is only a 40-second clip, we want to put this on a loop so that it will play throughout the entire song, because most of our songs go longer than that. So you just go down here to the repeat, and then you go ahead and select loop, and this will just keep the video looping throughout the entirety of the song until you go to your next slide. You also want to go ahead and turn this start movie on click. What this ensures is that when you go to the slide, the video will start running on its own, and you won't have to worry about it, hitting the arrow key or the space bar again to get it to start. So now that we've done that, we can go back here to our first build. And so the title here, we want this on the screen at the beginning. So there actually won't be a build-in for this. This will be here. So once you turn that slide on, it'll say Sanctuary. The video is going in the background, and it's going to look great. So what we want to do here now is go to Animate. And since we're not going to do a build-in, we're just going to do a build-out on this one here. We're already selected there. We'll add the effect. And I like Dissolve. It's simple, but feel free to use something else if you prefer. So now that we have that build out, when we transition to the next slide, this will disappear and the next one will come in. And so what we want to do now is I'm going to open up the build order so you can kind of see how this is going to look down here as well. So you can see we have our movie at the start, and then we have our first build, which is the title. Okay, so we'll take the first verse of the song, "Oh Lord, Prepare Me," and we're going to just pop that up here, just like we did with the title. line it up so it's nice and straight. And so with this one, we actually are going to need to build in because it won't be there in the beginning of the presentation. So we'll select build in. We'll add an effect. Go to dissolve again. Now what we want to do is to make sure that this slide here, this text box comes in as the title is leaving. And so to do that, you want to make sure that you have that box selected. And you want to go to the start. And instead of doing it on a click, you want to do it with build number 2. So this way, when we do the presentation, when you hit that next button, the sanctuary title will disappear and that first verse will come in. And it'll be seamless and it'll look great. And I'll show you how it looks when we actually finish this. All right, so now for this, we're going to need to build out so that when the next verse comes in, this will disappear as well. So we'll go to build out, add an effect, dissolve, and now you can see we have our build out. And this will gives you a little preview every time you do something like that as well. All right, so now we got our second verse here, which is "Lead me, O Lord, through temptation." Go ahead and line that up, and once again, it centers it nice and easy for you. And we're going to go ahead and add a build-in for that. Make that dissolve again. And once again, we want to make sure that this comes in as number 4 is going out. So we'll go down here to start. Go to with build number 4. And that'll go ahead and transition nice and smoothly. We'll add another build out on that one. And we'll go dissolve. And there you go. All right, so now, as I mentioned, Sanctuary is one of those songs that's kind of nice because the chorus repeats itself. And it's actually the same as the first verse. And so you can see down here I had these ready to go just in case, but we're not going to use these. What we can actually do is copy and paste the slide from here in our build order, and paste it in there as well, and it'll be already done. The effects will be added. All you need to do is to adjust the slide itself so that it's centered. And so what we'll do here, since we want the first verse, the "O Lord, prepare me," we'll go ahead and select these two. And then I'm going to go ahead and just hit Command C to copy them, and then Command V, like Victor, to paste them. And so as you can see, so here's that first verse, here's that second verse, and now we have the chorus right there already built in. And so you can see that box is already selected. And so what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and center this so that it fits in there nice and neat. And now we'll go to the next verse, which is "It was you, Lord, who gave the Savior." Same process again here. We just want to line that up. There's that center. We're going to add a build-in, dissolve, and we want to make sure that comes in as number 8 is going out. So we'll go ahead and select with build 8. And then we add another build out. Add an effect, dissolve. All right, and then once again, we're going to go ahead and copy that chorus just to make it easier. And you can select this one here and just select these two. We're going to go Command C again to copy, and then Command V to paste. And we'll go ahead and get rid of these ones since we're not going to use them anymore. There we go. And I forgot to center that, so there we go. Okay. So now you can see we have our presentation here. And since that last chorus is going to be where the song ends, we're actually going to remove this build out here on the end of it, because if we left it there, it would take the text away. Sorry, getting some reminders, guys. It would take the text away and leave the movie playing in the background, so the MP4 playing in the background, and you'd have to hit the button again to transition to the next slide. If we take this build out, we're going to go ahead and just tell them that we don't need to do that, and we can go ahead, once this song is done singing the last verse, the whole slide transitions. And so we'll go ahead and change that to no effect. So now we just have the build in, and we're good to go. And so you can see here, you look at the slide, it looks kind of crazy. A lot of people are going to see this and not really understand what's going on, and it can be a little confusing. But once we do the presentation, you'll see that it's going to look seamless. So let's go ahead and play that, and you can see what the slide's going to look like. All right, so you can see here we got the motion already playing in the background. The title is already on the screen. exactly how you want it to look on Sunday at service. And so what you can do now is, we sing the song starts, you go to the first verse, and you can see that transition comes in nice and smooth. There's no tiles that are hanging on or anything like that. Go to the next verse, same thing, nice smooth transition. Right back to the chorus, to the third verse, to the chorus again. Now this is where the song's going to end, and so the next time you hit that button to transition, it would go to your next slide, but since we only have the one slide here, it's going to end the presentation. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here, and this is going to be important when building these types of slides this way, is there's not really a lot of room for error in the verses or the songs. So you have to make sure that you know which verses are being sung so that you can build it correctly. So it does take a little coordination with the song leaders. Fortunately, my wife is a song leader, so it's usually a little bit easier for me. But this is a pretty simple fix. It's not very hard to get the right information. It's a quick fix on Sunday morning too. So what you can see, the challenge is, since this is only one slide, if let's say you had the wrong verse in there, or you jump to the next transition too soon, and they're still staying on the last one because they're doing the remix version of the song, you'll come into some trouble. So for instance, if we start the presentation, you can see here at the start screen, first verse goes great, they go into the second verse, and now the chorus. But let's say instead of going back to, going to the next slide, they want to go back to the previous slide and sing that second verse all over again. Unfortunately, what I'm going to do is hit the back button now, and you'll see what it'll do is take me to the beginning of the presentation itself. So you can't just go back to one thing. You start back at the very beginning of that whole build transition. And so that's the challenge here is you can't just go back to the previous verse in the song. It goes back to the very beginning of the slideshow. And so, like I said, it's very important to make sure that when you build these songs, you build them correct, so that you don't have to worry about that. And if you've done that job and you check with the song leaders and make sure there's no last minute changes, then it's going to look great and there won't be any problems. But I'm sure, as you've seen, a couple times when I've done it, where we had a verse in there that they weren't going to sing, or I jumped ahead too quickly, I couldn't go back, and you're kind of stuck with what you have in the moment there. You can't go back and fix it, so it has to be right the first time. But I hope this helped you out. It's a pretty simple process. It takes a little bit to get used to at first, but once you get a rhythm going, it's actually pretty easy. And then once you've built the song, then it's pretty good. And you can always just change out the background, get rid of that video, put in a new video. If you want to do like a seasonal theme, like for the holidays, or it's spring, you want to do flowers and sunsets or landscapes, stuff like that. It's really easy. You just get a different video, pop it in there, and set the build up exactly how we did before. But hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully it made sense. If you have any questions, ask me, email me. I'm more than happy to help you out, walk you through it. I hope this process works the same on PowerPoint if you're using that. If not, I'm sorry. I don't know how to help you there because I don't use PowerPoint. I'm kind of stuck with Apple. But I hope this helped out, and hope you guys are doing good. Thanks.